Jack, you are on your way. You know your parents, or your folks live on kind of the edges of the city in sort of this nice large house. Let me grab music. Where's the city music? Not Shattered Helium. In the shadows.
Shattered Helium? Oh god. I can go high?
There we go. Proper city ambiance.
Very quiet, but it works. Okay, now I can hear it. Just took a second.
Oh, you want me to pump up the music so you can hear the New Yorkers New Yorkers in the background be like, "Hey, fuck you!"
I'm walking.
I'm walking in.
All right.
You're sleeping with the fishes. You're talking to me. Forget about it.
It kind of takes you back because you have not been to your folks' place in a good while. As you remember, you've been mostly cruising around on the road on your motorcycle.
Yup. Like a badass.
And as I said before, your folks' place is like right on like the edge of the city, kind of in the ritzy neighborhood. Long driveway surrounded by like a gate, by like a large iron gate. The guards up at the front who basically keep an eye on the cars coming in and out.
Jack's just gonna take a look at the estate, be like, has been a while since I've come here. He just mumbles to himself as he walks up to the gate.
You see two guards standing on either side of the gate. They both kind of turn and look at you.
I lower down shades that I don't have. Be like, what?
Can we help you?
Can I be let in? I live here.
They both kind of look at each other. And you are...
Jack.
One of them kind of narrows his eyes a little bit. Let's see if he remembers you.
God.
I have ID if need be.
I don't remember anyone by the name of Jack living here. One of them kind of looks at you. His eyes narrow behind his sunglasses. And the other one rolled a nat 1 to remember you.
Whoops.
These guys are getting fired.
Amnesiac guard.
You see behind his glasses he's sleeping.
Looks at the other guy. Looks back at the guy who's questioning me. You do realize your buddy over there is snoozing, right?
Huh? What?
Points to the other guard who's sleeping. Clearly.
Ted, wake up! He jabs him in the shoulder. Ted! He's what? I wasn't sleeping.
Chuckles to himself.
Let's see. Wakes up. Okay, that's a little better. As he kind of like shakes himself awake and he looks on over at you, this guard who was sleeping. Oh, Mr. Hyperion! And you see the other guy kind of look at him and be like, "Oh, I beg your pardon." It's like, it's been a while.
Gives a coy smile. Yes, it has.
Let me get the gate open for you, sir. And he goes on over to the guard shack, and you hear this and as the gate starts to like roll over to the side.
Thank you, Ted.
Not a problem, sir.
He just gives like a slight like nod to him and just wanders on past them like, ha ha, still got it.
As you walk away, you hear the guard who denied your entry previously. It's like, I thought he only had a daughter. It's like, no, he's got a son too. He's just never around. All right.
Knowing they're talking shit about him, he's like, yeah.
All right. You begin to make your way on up to up to the driveway. Let me see here. Leads you on up to the massive set of like just these beautiful double doors. The lead on. It's very grandiose.
Remembers it exactly how he remembers it. As much as I've been away from this place, it's good to be home. Pushes open the doors.
All right. In that case, Wavy.
Hello.
Let's see what is your character's name? I know we didn't think of that before. Make up a name.
We didn't. Percival.
Percival?
Yep.
Percival, as you are attending to the family's affairs, getting the kitchen cleaned up, you hear the front door swing open.
I'm gonna go to the door. Go to the door to see who's coming in.
You see young Master Jack strolling on in.
Jack, welcome home.
Percival, how are you, old chap?
I've never been better.
What's been going on since I've been gone?
Oh, you know, just the usual.
Raises eyebrow.
You know, just
Stuff.
stuff,
Things.
you know. Stuff and things.
Stuff and things. Yep, thank you.
You hear him say the usual stuff. Hint, hint. Family business.
Nods. Yeah, where the hell my father is?
Would I?
Wavy, you know he is currently up in his study conducting business. Big air quotes.
Yeah.
With young Master Klein.
Names.
Let me bring up... So I'm bringing up Roll20 on the others, on my other thing. But yes, you know he is up in his study doing business with his son, young Master Klein.
Yeah, so I'll just tell Jack. I'll be like, yeah, he's up in his study doing some business with Klein.
Nods. My brother. Good. Any idea where Natalie is?
Let's see here. Considering the day, considering what time it is, she's probably at school. Hopefully.
Most likely at school, considering what time of day it is.
I was hoping to catch her at some point. Oh well, I guess I'll take her. I'll find her later. Shrugs. Kind of thankful he's able to avoid his elder siblings somewhat.
And go back to doing what I was doing prior.
Butlering.
Okay. Butlering. You're gonna butt some lures.
Yep.
You got a bottle.
Yep. Okay, you need to be like Sebastian, be one hell of a butler. Okay, no one else gets that
Yes.
reference? Okay.
Yes. Yeah.
Yeah, I get you.
Okay. You know what? Sure, I will go up to my father's study.
Alright, let me see here. You make your way up the stairs, start heading towards your father's study. You know that, like, when he's in this room, this is a do not, like, disturb sort of room. This is where he conducts the business. If you get my my invisible air quotes. You do see somebody kind of walking on down the hall as you are making your way towards the study, though. You spy your elder sisters, Cynthia and Kiana.
Oh, god damn it. Just visible, just internal heavy sigh, like, here we go again.
You see,
No, it's literally the oh shit, here we go again.
the moment Cynthia lays her eyes on you, you see this, like, her eyebrow raise up. Jack!
Cynthia.
And where exactly have you been hiding?
Shifts his gaze. Traveling.
Traveling. Ugh. Out of curiosity, where'd you go on vacation this time?
Hour south of here. In the middle of butt-fuck nowhere, but nice of a place.
Sounds nice. And she kind of gives Cynthia this look like, uh-huh. Let me see here.
If they're trying to incite me, they can.
I'm trying to think of where to take this because I'm literally playing this off the cuff of my sleeve at the moment. Where do they want to take this? Looking at my options. Okay. If you're going up to ask Father for some more money again, just a heads up, he's not exactly in the mood.
I just came to check up on everybody. Not here to ask for anything.
Sure. I'm sure. Let me see. Okay. Here we go. Okay. By the way, I didn't hear your motorcycle that they usually have. That thing roars like a lion. Did you get it busted up again?
Remembers what happened to it. I'd rather not talk about it.
I'm gonna take that as a yes. And you see Kiana kind of let out a sigh as she hands Cynthia a $10 bill, and Cynthia just kind of takes it and puts it into her pocket.
Just gives audible at them. Whatever.
Well, if you'll please pardon us, Jack, we have very important things to do. I'm sure you have your next vacation to plan for. And she gives you a pat on the shoulder and starts to head on down the stairs, along with Kiana.
Just rolls his eyes. Sure. Tell that to the next guy you're screwing. And he walks down the hall.
Oh, speaking of which, did you pick up a new girlfriend yet?
Why, has Sophia not responded at all?
Oh, her name is Sophia now. Oh, okay. Just checking up. Oh, and on a completely side note, is she Mulian?
Go fuck yourself.
That's racist.
I'll take that as another yes. And you see Kiana let out another sigh and hand her sister a $5 bill.
By that, no. Brat.
Kiana snatches the $5 away, puts it in her purse. Told you.
Past sisters. He mumbles as he walks to his father's office door and knocks, just like.
All right. After a second, you see your brother Klein kind of open up the door. Tall gentleman, kind of thin. He looks a lot like you, except black hair, minus the horns, minus the wings.
Yeah.
Jack, where the hell have you been? And he reaches out and gives you a big ol' hug.
I bro hug him back.
Haven't seen you in
What?
ages.
And traveling. Just came back.
No letter, no phone call. Your mother's getting sick. Or your mother is getting sick not hearing from you.
Reminds me, I need to go find her as well. Want to make sure she's all right.
She's alright. She's out shopping at the moment.
Thank the stars. Something bad would have happened to her.
Oh, come now, Jack. People know better than to mess with the Hyperion family. And he takes his hand around your shoulder and starts to lead you into the study.
I'll let Klein do so. Kind of like already regretting his decision, going to see his father. But you know what? He signed up for this shit. Just like neutral face as he enters the study.
You see your dad sitting at his desk, head down over, looks like signing some documents. Got a couple other people around him that you slightly familiar with. You mostly know him as his business partners. The moment you kind of pop on in, he raises up his head, kind of looks at you. Jack.
Father.
Kind of looks at his associates. Gentlemen, we'll take a short break right now. I'll get back to you in a minute. I'd like to have a little chat with my son. You guys nod. They will start to shuffle their way out of the room. None of them looking at you. Kind of normal, actually. Nobody really makes eye contact with the new person in the room.
Yeah, he's seen this happen before. He's used to it by now.
You see your father kind of standing up from his desk. Jack, it's been a while. Haven't heard from you.
Been busy. Traveling.
Well,
You know what I do.
no, I don't really know what you do, to be honest.
Besides dodging a draft for the war, traveling about. Just glances off to the side. Escaping jail.
So your father kind of raised an eyebrow at that, and your brother also kind of raises an eyebrow. Escaping jail. Jack,
Long story.
have you been getting into trouble again? I thought we were through that phase.
This time was an accident, and escaping was more of a priority than getting my life taken from me.
Why didn't you call me? I could have gotten you out.
I don't think you could have done that with this place.
And
St.
why?
Morticia's. Ever heard of it?
It's kind of the silence in the room, and you see your father kind of, the gears slowly turning in his head. Not familiar with the name. Where's that at?
Was out. Takes him a minute. Hour south from here,
You see him
where
kind
I've
of...
been held up these past couple days.
You see his eyes kind of narrow as he looks on over the Klein. There's no jail out there.
Out in the middle of the desert.
Not that I'm aware of. St. Morticia's, you said?
Correct.
No, it's... Klein, would you do me a favor? Would you mind looking into that when you get a chance? Yes, of course.
Well, you're probably not going to find much about it now since it's been taken over by banditry.
Banditry?
Some raises his hands and does air quotes. Some Sun King came round and attacked the joint had this old Atlantean armor of some form.
Well, you do find the strangest sorts in prison nowadays.
He wasn't in prison. He was destroying the joint with his armada of soldiers. Well trained, too. Me and my friends, we barely escaped with our lives. There, the warden had this weird device, magical in nature. I don't even know how to explain it myself.
You see
But
your
whatever it did, it was evil in nature.
father's kind of giving you like the raised eyebrow look. You see him kind of wander on over, picks up a phone, and Mortimer, while you're in the kitchen, you hear the phone ring. Or, what was actually your character's name? Wavy?
Percival.
Percival, that's right. King Arthur. Percy. Okay, that's fine.
Yeah.
You hear the phone ring.
Pick up the phone.
It's your boss, Mr. Hyperion. Percival, would you mind bringing up a cup of coffee for Jack, please?
Certainly.
Thank you.
Oh, he doesn't look tired. He's just openly telling what he knows. Nothing but the truth, ironically, from him, compared to his past history.
Mm-hmm. It's quite the tale, Jack.
My friends would tell you the exact same thing if they were here. Unfortunately, they had other business to attend to within the city, and I might go check in on them at a later date.
Jack, you can be completely honest with me. You don't have to give me some grandiose tale. You can just tell me that
I'm
you
not
escaped
lying.
from prison.
I did escape from prison, one, and everything else I've told you has been nothing but the truth. We all saw it. Well, they saw it along with me. Hell, the fucking Atlantean in armor almost tried to kill me. If they even were Atlan.
You see your dad start to just kind of rub his face a little bit. Son, I'm gonna be honest, I think you being out on the road for this long has started to not do you quite a few favors. Well, now that you're back in the city, perhaps you'd think about settling on in here. Give your legs a rest from traveling.
Sighs, knowing that clearly this isn't going through his head. I'll stay for a while. I do want to check on my friends. At some point. When that's going to be another question. I will stay. Considering my ride's gone.
Well, we do have your old room, still as you left it.
Hope so.
Just kind of awkwardly kind of sits back and waits for the coffee to come on up. Percival?
I walk in with the coffee.
Thank you, Percival.
You're welcome.
Takes it.
Leaves.
Sits cross-legged, sips it.
Percival, a quick question to you.
Yes.
Are you familiar with a prison called St. Morticia's, by chance?
Would I be familiar with
Roll
this
a
prison?
roll a d20 for me. Go onto the little side thing and
Yeah,
click
I
the
got it, I got
d20.
it. Bonk. An
8.
8.
You've never heard of it in your life.
Unfortunately, I have never heard of such a prison.
Alright. Thank you, Percival. May attend to your duties.
Certainly. Okay, I leave.
Alright. Well, Jack, you're more than welcome to stay as long as you like. As I said, your room is just as we left it. Percival's been taking care of it as well as your mother.
How is Mother?
She's doing well. She's doing well. She's out shopping at the moment. We're having a little get-together with friends this upcoming weekend.
Nods. I would like to see her at some point before I go see the rest of my companions.
He nods. He kind of looks down at his watch. I have no idea when she'll be back, but I'm sure it shouldn't be too much longer.
If she does come around, tell her I'm here.
Alright.
And he'll just down the rest of the coffee like it's a fucking shot of whiskey. Because he doesn't care. He just gives his dad a knowing look, looks at Klein, just gives him a nod, and walks to his old room.
Before you get to the door, you hear your father from right behind you. Jack.
Looks back towards him. Yeah.
You know, I've been thinking.
Raises an eyebrow. About.
How nice it would be to see you in a business suit. See him kind of look on up to you. We have open positions.
Just deep sigh. I said I will think about it the last time you offered me. And considering I've had a busy schedule, I've not had time to think about it. I will consider your offer at another time. As of right now, I'm not interested.
I'm sure you'll have plenty of time to think about it. Next time you're out on the road, that busy road of yours. Think about it, Jack. A lot of good money in it.
I'll think about it. He just closes the door as he walks out and turns the corner to go down the hall to his room.
Okay. In that case, we will give Khurtin, Cat, Nevo any things that you might wish to do. I know, Nevo, last time you said that you had a couple things you were wanting to try with Betty Bonesley.
Yeah.
Doggo.
I love the name.
I added a little blue poncho, so it'll be a little bit easier to spot, hopefully, now.
Yes.
Amazing.
He's got his lovely blue poncho on.
But now it's time for phase 2 of integrating Buddy Bonesley into society. I'll be looking for... I think I did message you about, like, a device that can, like, record and, like, playback things.
Oh, like a
tape recorder.
Yeah. And one that's, like, small enough that could be, like, on a keychain.
I'll be right back.
on a keychain?
Yeah, because the plan is going to be to wrap it around Buddy Bonesley.
Sadly, around the 1920s, there was nothing that small
Damn.
You could. Oh God, what could you do? Audio recorder, 1920. Audio recorders, 1920s. What do we got? Nope, that's 2020. Why did it go to 2020? I don't want 2020. I want the 1920s. Jesus Christ. Yeah. It looks like all audio recording devices were pretty freaking huge. You had like Edison, like sound recorders with like the beeswax cylinders.
Strap a whole ass gramophone to your dog.
Ooh. It doesn't look like there's anything that small in existence.
Ouch, man.
Stick a radio in its ribcage.
Be interesting. You could theoretically try to like jury rig a bunch of radio parts together. What exactly are you wanting to do?
Oh, you cut out.
Oh,
Hello?
can you hear me? Tom?
Yeah.
Tom.
I'm back.
Okay. What exactly were you planning on doing? Just so I have a better idea in my mind.
Well, the plan was originally, without thinking of the context of the date, I was thinking of like getting a recorder for the dog and then recording a barking sound so it could be like it could bark so it could be like our scout.
Okay. Yeah, sadly, with how large audio recording devices were, you would theoretically need to, like, put a radio or some...
Did they have cow in a can back then?
No, they did not.
Wait. Tyler, dear bleach.
You could...
Maybe stick some maracas inside of him?
It looks like, if anything...
What's happening? I heard my name.
Nevo is currently trying to find a way to get his Skeledog to bark. If
Or
anything,
bark.
Nevo, I want you to roll a
Extra,
knowledge of
Tyler.
engineering.
Oh boy.
Let's see how
In
well.
game, Tyler.
I actually have to open my character sheet. Oh boy.
Oh boy.
Here I go rolling the knowledge again.
Engineering.
Nice.
Oh.
Okay. Oh god. As a necromancer, you're not too familiar with audio recording devices. I mean, last you were told, the phones operate by little men who listen to what you say and then they run along the wires really fast to the person on the other end.
Dear.
But as a necromancer, you are quite familiar with vocal cords.
Oh,
Would
so
it
you've
be
got three
possible
other
to
engineers
get
in the
any advice from my fellow people who are around me? Because this sucks.
You have seen Alex working on the bus. So you know she's mechanically inclined. Khurtin?
Jack also helps her,
Yeah.
but he's not there.
And you know Khurtin tends to be a pretty smart dude.
Barely. Not bad.
Yeah, alright. I'll ask Curtin if he can assist or have him roll, so hopefully it's not like as bad as my roll.
Okay, so how do you want to explain this to him? Do an in-character moment with Nevo.
Hey, Curtin. What's up, man?
Immediately breaking storm. just with the first sentence.
Do you need the help with something, lad?
Yeah, I'm trying to get my dog, Buddy Bonesley, here to speak, but I'm having a bit of trouble with that. Trying to find some stuff to, like, tie to him so that, like, he could, like, speak, you know?
How about trying a pair of vocal cords first? Considering he's mostly bones.
Is there any kind of check I can do with that?
How about perception?
I'm
Pretty sure
trying.
there's only 2 pairs of vocal cords in the vicinity, and they're both occupied.
Quite occupied, yes.
Roll a. There's no knowledge of anatomy. Roll a heal check. Let's see how well you understand anatomy.
Oh, there we go.
Okay.
Wow. Okay.
I mean, theoretically, you could use your necromantic powers, to necrocraft some, like, vocal cords onto Buddy Bonesley, but where to get the vocal cords?
Oh boy.
And look,
That
we just got
probably
on
require really hurting somebody in the process.
Or finding a recently made dead body.
and we just got out of prison, so I'd highly recommend not getting us back, getting us thrown back into prison.
Storm, I had a character question.
Yes.
I was looking at cassette recorders, and I'm having trouble. Like, I'm just googling it. Like in the night, I'm having trouble finding like the ones I'm looking at seem, I don't know.
I have the Wikipedia of history of sound recording up. It looks like during the early 1920s, there was a lot of scratched or insulated an analog sound wave onto a moving recording medium, such as a roll of coated paper, cylinder, disc coated with soft material such as wax or soft metal. Later on, the second wave of sound recording integrated the system of electric microphones, electronic signal amplifiers, and electromagnetic recorders.
So
But
the first phase was mostly like pianos and shit.
But
Have like actual playing back material.
you rolled a nat 1 on your knowledge of engineering.
Yeah.
Man, if only we had a special device.
Rip.
Like 3 engineers.
Khurtin, I want you to roll a knowledge of engineering. Let's see if we can help out Nevo. See if anything comes to your mind.
I don't know jack shit, mate.
As
You're on your own for figuring out something to strap to the dog to be able to get it to talk, unless you can somehow rig up some body parts. But again, that's magic, and I can't wrap my head around you people doing that.
I love it. A natural 1 that is a natural 2, and then a natural 4. That's funny.
I almost
Ow.
rolled what I'd get.
anything else you're wanting to do, Nevo?
Well, I guess I'll just have to wait for that opportunity, and I'm gonna assume that my other one is probably gonna have a similar outcome, most likely.
You could give it a shot.
I'm thinking, well, since Buddy has a blank eye sockets, to get him like one of those like orby eye things, like glass eye orbs.
prosthetic eye.
Yeah.
Yeah?
Just a pair of googly eyes.
Okay, those have been around for a while, so, I'll say with your age, Nevo, you absolutely know that prosthetic eyes exist. You've seen sailors with them. So yeah, if you were wanting to give Buddy Bonesley a set of peepers, then yeah, that's absolutely possible.
Alright, then let's go for that first.
All right. Let me.
It'd be more of like a random novelty item. Like back then, these were very common and like not very expensive.
Let's see. Let's see what sort of shop you wander into. Roll me a knowledge
And
of
mostly they were
knowledge of
medical.
local.
Knowledge of what?
Knowledge of local. Let's see what sort of shop you wander into.
Do-do-do-do.
Okay, okay.
Ooh, damn.
So, ducking and weaving in and out throughout the streets, you know you're not going to wander into like a joke novelty shop. You actually managed to find your way. Let me see here.
Medical office usually. Doctor, most likely.
Optometrist.
There you go. You end up, you wind your way up into an optometrist facility. Kind of a small building. I wouldn't call it a mom and pop place, but really just kind of a small office building. One or two people kind of sitting in the lobby.
Alright, he'll head up.
Alright. You see a woman sitting at a front desk? How can I help you, sir? She looks on up at you, Nevo.
Did you say something? I keep getting disconnected, or like, you keep cutting off for me.
Oh, there's a woman up at the front desk. She looks up at you. How can I help you today, sir?
Oh, my poor dog, it lost its eyes. It's so terrible. Is there any way I could get its poor eyes back?
roll,
You're asking for glass eyes.
roll me... roll me a deception check. Or let me see here.
Persuasion?
I'm trying to remember. Sorry. Nevo, character sheet. I'm trying
Perception,
to...
persuasion, in order?
Roll me a diplomacy check. We'll see how well she sense motives you. 16? You see her bring her hands up to her face. Oh, you poor sweet doggo! And she kind of hurries up around the desk, and she leans down and gives Buddy Bonesley a big ol' hug. Oh, goodness, it feels like he might have lost something more than in his eyes.
Oh no.
Oh, you poor sweet thing.
I'm guessing natural one.
Well, of course,
Emaciated greyhound.
we'll be more than happy to sell you some prosthetics.
Oh, just glass eyes will be just fine, ma'am.
Well, we still gotta see what size we're dealing with here. I mean, we don't want to give your dog giant googly eyes. That'd be just crazy.
Crazy.
There we go. Now, what sort of dog is he by chance?
Out of character, what size is Buddy
He's-
anyway?
He is medium size.
Isn't he chupacabra parts?
He was a lot of things that he kind of threw into one. Remember, a chupacabra skull was one of the things.
A medium dog, ma'am.
Medium dog. Okay, we can bring out a couple specimens for you. I'll go get the doctor. And let me see here. Okay. She kind of hurries on back. And she brings out... Let's see here. Oh, this will be fun. She brings out the doctor. I want you to roll a knowledge of nature for me. Because the doctor she brings out...
Oh, well.
All right.
Natural 2.
Another nat 1. Jesus Christ, Nevo. This is payback for when you were working on the railroad and you were fucking beefing it. Nevo, as she brings back the doctor, your heart just almost stops. It's a skeleton with glowing green eyes and a white lab coat and a pair of thick glasses.
Massacre.
Oh my goodness, it's a lich.
How can I help you today, sir?
Oh my god, yes! Thank you for making a Skeletor.
Exactly.
Jesus.
I understand you're looking to purchase some papers.
Why do I imagine he has some of those gag glasses on?
Yeah.
Well, you're in the right place. We got all the papers you could ever need. We got wooden ones. We got glass ones. We got ones made of metal.
Oh, glass, I think is fine.
Oh, excellent, excellent. And he heads on into the back, and you hear this as he starts shuffling through stuff. And he comes wandering on in with like two full drawers. And he plops them on down. Now let me take a look at your face, boy. And he kind of, like, his bony skeletal hands reach out and cup your face. It's really weird. You're used to skeletons. This guy's hands are warm. And he pulls your face on in close. And he starts to, like, put a finger up to your eye. He pulls down your eyelid, looks at one of your eyes, looks at the other. What do you say? These are some excellent craftsmanship. Why do you want to trade these little puppies out?
Oh, no, it's not for me. It's for my dog.
For your dog? And he looks on down. Sir, do I look like a veterinarian to you?
Maybe?
I
Maybe.
love this character so much. This is killing me. Because Jack would find this hilarious.
Well, let me take a look at your puppies here. Maybe we got the right size for them, maybe we don't. You see him get on down, and he grabs the hem of Buddy Bonesley's poncho, and you see him lift it up, and closes it back down. Son, I think you need a little more than eyeballs on your puppa there. He's just not even skin and bones, he's just bones!
It's a skin condition that just makes it look like bones.
He's roll me another diplomacy.
Oh, there we go.
There you go, 22.
You see the doctor raise his bony hand up to his chin and scratch. I know the feeling.
Oh.
Well, I'm not one to judge. I'm not one to judge, even when I am. And especially not when they're terror dogs. I mean, good dogs. He starts to... almost like a kid playing in a bag of marbles, starts to, like, shuffle through all the glass eyes that he has. Now, just a heads up, I don't sell any magical eyeballs if that's what you're looking for. We don't specialize in that sort of thing. Too expensive, too unpredictable, you hear me?
Yeah, that's fine.
He starts to pull out a couple of them. Some of them are like actual, like, clear glass orbs. Some of them are actually, like, painted in, colored. What sort of eyes are you wanting, Nevo?
Let's go for the matching gray-ish sort of eyes that Nevo has.
Oh, okay. Let's see here. Okay, there we go. You kind of point out a couple of them. Okay, there we go. Yeah, you kind of shuffling on through them, and you're like, hey, do you have any gray? And you see the doctor kind of pull one out, and it's like blue in color. It's got like the blue eye color. You see him take his finger up and kind of scratch away the blue painting, and it's just gray underneath. He's like, these'll work. I'm gonna pop them into your popper for ya. And he just gets on down, and you hear this sound as he kind of sticks the eyeballs into your Skeledog. And they kind of just
Sweet.
they kind of just roll around for a bit because there's no connective muscle tissue to keep them straight on. You see Buddy Bonesley just kind of sit back, his little bony tail's wagging, and he looks up at you, but one eye is like looking up into the left, and the other one is slowly starting to roll in the socket, like back behind the socket. He's just like,
Well, I'll fix that later, I think. I'll try anyway.
Excellent.
Put a little chewing gum in there.
They fit him like a glove. Doing the Lord's work, I am.
So,
He's like a cleric.
how much is this gonna cost?
That'll be $2, please.
Alright,
2 gold. That's actually not that bad.
alright. I subtracted that away.
Like 20 to 30 bucks. They're not super high quality, but your doggo now has a pair of eyes.
Sweet. Alright, I will return to the base / Curtain's place.
And remember, young man, if you need anyone for an eye job, come see Susan. I'm Susan.
Okay.
Dr. Susan.
Oh no.
Oh my god. I love this guy. Girl? I don't even know.
It has a guy's voice. It absolutely has a dude's voice.
Okay. Oh fuck, I'm dying from laughter. Oh, I need to breathe.
All right.
God damn it, Storm.
Does anyone else have anything else they would like to do during their downtime? I know, Khurtin, we'll say you went to go visit Justice Fist on kind of like the end of the week, just so this all canonically makes sense.
Yeah, that's fine if that's the only thing he's doing.
Yeah. Okay. And Kat, I know Alex was making some money working on cars.
Yeah.
Alright.
I had 2 other things that she could do, but I don't mind going last.
What were those 2 things?
I'd say DM's choice of either going out later in the day or to find sketchy areas or calling her brother.
Okay. Let me see here. And I would say either one of those could work for you. I will need some time to prep for if you want to talk to your brother.
Yeah, I figured.
Okay.
Which is why I said DM's choice.
Okay. Because I am trying to remember your brother's name. You have so many of them. Here we go.
One of them is dead, if that helps.
Yes.
She'd probably call David. No,
Okay.
not Jose. Well, maybe Jose. Jose is more chill. One of the two.
And plus, I need to practice a Hispanic accent that is not insulting.
Good luck. I still can't figure it out.
Have fun.
All right. In that case, we'll see if Alex is able to find herself some sketch places. We'll say
Sketchbridge?
this will take place.
Sketch
Sketchbridge. Okay. Yeah, we'll say this takes place maybe a day or two after you arrive. Alright. Nighttime comes over the city. Even when it's dark, it is still just loud as hell.
Jesus.
Let me... Alright. First part of the timer
The
went
city,
off.
What do you expect?
And now...
Wrap up time.
Nope, I'll reset my timer for 45 minutes. And then we'll call it after that.
Alright.
There we go. Okay. Yeah, this is absolute... Like, you've heard this place called The City That Never Sleeps, and it lives up to its name. Let me see here. As for shadier districts, I want Alex to roll a survival check.
I get so many bonuses for that in the city.
And also because you're human.
Yeah.
Because of humans' magical ability. Which is... For my one human in the group...
2.
Currently
Isn't it?
playing.
Yeah. So that's +2 for getting lost. Would that count here?
Yes.
Alright, +4 for urban survival, so for +6.
The
So-
D20 plus 6.
Survival. Whatever this is, +6.
20. Okay.
20.
Alright.
No more way around the city.
You do know your way around the city. In particular, you know some of the shadier stuff tends to happen around the docks. That's
Yeah.
kind of universal from city to city. That is the most common place for scum and villainy. Alright. There we go. In particular, let's see how she'll do this. Alright. It's late at night. It's like 1 a.m. You managed to sneak your way on out of the apartment while everyone was sleeping. Some people on the couch, other people just kind of like flopped over on the floor. Nevo is currently using Buddy Bonesley as like a blanket, despite the fact that Buddy Bonesley is only wearing a poncho. Not a lot of heat to him. And let me
Yeah,
see.
normal.
You end up making your way on out to the docks. And what exactly... Describe to me what Alex kind of looking for.
Just sort of trying to get a beat on the kinds of criminal activity that goes on around here. Not necessarily approaching anyone, just observing.
Oh,
Perhaps a
okay.
stealthy manner.
Okay.
And then
In that case, I'll have you. Trying to decide whether or not you'll do a perception to kind of look for shady people, or a sense motive to kind of get a feel for them. I'll tell you what. Roll a perception for me. Let's see if you find criminal activity.
alrighty. 11.
11. Let me see. Criminal stealth.
See how bad Jack's father's business part
Or
runs.
maybe I'll just get mugged.
Oh no.
We only have 40 minutes left. We're gonna have to make this really quick on that.
I turn into smoke and float up onto a roof somewhere. Combat over.
Alright, let me see here. Alright, as you are kind of milling around down the dock area, trying to do your best not to draw attention to yourself.
Jacket on to cover the tattoos, cigarette in mouth to cover the smoke.
Let me see here. With that roll, every once in a while you do see kind of people who obviously they don't look like they belong. The way they walk, the way they hold themselves, you know they're trouble, you know the sort. You're not really catching people like doing like ill means or anything. Anytime you kind of wander past an alleyway, anyone who's kind of doing anything kind of sees you and they just disperse.
Damn, do I look that much like a pig?
You're a stranger in town.
Yeah, fair enough. Alright, so not getting much in the way of observations.
If you wanted to be bold, you could just straight up go up and ask someone and be like, hey, you got the drugs? What up, fellow teens?
Hello, I am human.
We know, we can see you.
No, she's not really looking to buy anything, or she's just trying to sort of get the beat on stuff, so no.
Okay.
She still doesn't know that she needs to buy poison, so oh well.
Fair enough. Alright. But yeah, after kind of wandering around down in sort of the shiftier areas of the city,
Sabbatical walk.
you kind of get a layout for what's kind of around the city. Most of the sort of thuggier activity is down at the docks. A lot of the more like mafia style like criminal activity is in downtown. Casinos, brothels. Let me see here.
City that never sleeps. I could probably find a bar at this hour, though.
Absolutely.
Gonna do that.
Okay. Let me see what sort of bar you find yourself in. Actually, I'll have you roll a survival to see what sort of bar you wander into. Use that magical human survival instinct.
Use that +6 again. Oh no.
Okay. Ooh. Alright. Yeah, it's a dive bar. It's this little place in like a... Like, in order to even get to it, you had to like go around a building into an alleyway, and then it's like down a flight of stairs.
Literal hole in the wall.
Yeah, literally just a hole in the wall. The moment you open the door, the smell of cigarette smoke just hits you in the face, but you're used to that, considering your abilities.
Oh, perfect. I'll blend right in.
You see... Let me see how many people are up this late. Wow. You see one guy asleep at the bar, and you see the bartender, who, I want you to roll a knowledge of nature.
Knowledge, nature.
21. Okay. Ba.
You say.
Here we go. Ray says, notes on Ray says, Google can't open this document. Yes, it can. How dare you, Dropbox? Alright. Here we go. Alright, you recognize this creature. It is feminine in shape, with a hard insect-like carapace covering its body. You recognize this as one of the Anansi. The insect.
Spider person.
Yep. It is. She is, in particular, 1, 2... I believe they are called the... Kili? The Hikima. In particular, they are the spider folk. She's tall. She has, like, 4 arms, like, growing out of her back, in addition to, like, her normal arms. And you just see these arms, like, reaching up, grabbing glasses and cleaning them. And every once in a while, you see a fat, like, tarantula, like, bring up a bottle and, like, refill the sleeping guy's glass and, like, scurry off to go replace the bottle.
How big is it?
It's like the size of a dinner plate.
I was
That is
hoping a
a
Labrador.
big ass tarantula. Also, can we talk about the fact if spiders were the size of cats and make the human race extinct?
Yes.
We would still try to pet them.
You see, the moment you kind of enter on in, you see this bartender, her head kind of turns to the side, along with her 8 eyes, and they all kind of focus in on you. Another weary traveler. Come on in, darling.
Looks like you've got a pretty quiet night tonight.
As usual.
I'll go up to the bar and have a seat.
What's your poison, dear?
Usually... I don't know anything about liquor. Whiskey?
We've got
hard stuff.
I've got plenty of whiskey here for you. And you see one of her spidery arms on her back kind of swivel on over, and you see it shoot out this string of web, and it latches onto a bottle and pulls it on back. You see...
Nice showmanship.
Mostly just lazy.
It's useful.
Efficient.
And she
I like her.
And she gets out 2 glasses, pours you one, slides it on over.
Thank you.
She pours the other glass. You see the spider come on up, takes the glass, sips it down, and scurries back underneath the bar.
Oh my god, it's an
Love it.
alcoholic spider.
That's great.
I will drink my drink. And, look around the place. I'm new in town. Got any tips for tourists?
Depends on what sort of tourist activities you're looking for. I know some great beaches around here where you can tan your leathery human skin.
Not really my style.
Mine neither, I don't tan.
Yeah, I like things that are a little more below board. More interesting that way.
What was that word?
Like, below board? Is that a thing? I know
Below
above
board.
is a thing.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
It sounded like you said Bebo board. I was like, what the hell is that?
English.
Below board? Well, this is the Big Apple after all. There are many places below board. You're gonna have to be more specific, darling.
Just places to browse, I guess. You know, interesting trinkets.
Interesting trinkets.
Harder to get objects. I'm from sort of more of a backwater, you know, out of the way sort of place. I imagine you get all sorts of interesting stuff around here.
Yeah, it's kind of obvious that you're a newcomer to the city. You certainly act like one.
Oof.
I mean,
Sorry, I'm used to far more subtle talk than that. You're new to this, aren't you? And she kind of like, you see her rest her elbow against the counter, and her other spider legs kind of join her arm and kind of propping up.
elbow. I'm just a little rusty.
If you're looking for shopping spots, dear, that's going to cost you. Only the best materials. For the best information. In particular, what are you looking to... what sort of trinkets are you looking for, darling?
Out of character, I have no idea.
This is a big city. There's a lot of things you can find here.
Thinking out of character for a second.
You looking to score some slash?
No. I've seen what they have in prison. How many monies do I have left? Oh, a decent amount. I'm a criminal. How much is usual for a bribe?
Let me see here. Roll a diplomacy. And she'll see. She'll roll sense motive to see how much she can get out of you.
Motherfucker, I don't have anything in this.
Oh.
Nine. Oh no.
$20 and I'll tell you a nice place to shop.
I'll take my chances looking around, I think.
She shrugs. Another drink for the road, dear.
Yeah.
She pours
Yes,
it.
please.
You see a little tarantula run on up with a bottle of whiskey, refills your drink, scurries back down.
How many was the drink?
Let me see here. For whiskey, we'll say you owe her 10 cents.
One
Real-
piece.
1 dime.
I flip a dime on the counter.
You see, the moment you put the dime down on the counter, you see it like lift up, and a pair of little spider legs like reach around and starts to carry it over to a cash register.
Handy little buddies you got.
Oh, you have no idea.
You like have to train them to do that, or?
Train them? Darling, I am a Nancy. I do not train them. I command them.
Nice.
She's like Muffet from Undertale. She's badass.
But with whiskey instead of tea.
Yes, I love her. I love her so much.
Well, if you ever want to come to a dive bar with me.
Out of character, love her. In character, Jack would be freaked the fuck out, but find her interesting.
New girlfriend.
I don't think he wants to get murdered by his current girlfriend.
Tell me, young.
He is utterly terrified of pissing her off.
Tell me, Nafine boy, does the carpet match the drapes?
Oh.
Okay.
That's-
I don't know the question of that. Anywho.
And drink my drink. And I eye the other dude at the bar, just for funsies.
Let me see what he is. Oh, it's a kobold.
Oh, kobold!
Is, in particular... Let me see. It is a green scale.
What's he done up like?
What is that?
What's he outfitted with?
Looks like he has like a tiny little workman's uniform on. Probably based upon the belt that's hanging down off the seat. Looks like he might have been a plumber.
Aw, they have the shit jobs. Oh, you poor lad. I salute
You
you.
can probably get right down into the pipes.
He is passed out at this moment.
The goodest boy.
Too many for a little lizard.
Alright.
And I drank my drink and I breathed my smoke.
Alright. With that, we will jump on over back to Jack. Let me see here.
Hi.
Looking at my notes. Okay. Do you spend most of your time in your room? Just kind of chilling out?
Either in his room, either going to like I'm assuming his place has like a library, either doing like random reading or hanging out, just and occasionally raiding the pantry because he can.
Okay. Yeah, I would absolutely say there is a study aside from your father's. Very bourgeois. It's got a nice collection of books in there. A lot of them are mostly just for show. Like dusty old tomes that are mostly just there to brag about, oh yes, I have a first edition copy of Noster's Black Grimoire, and yada yada yada. Let me see here. Your mother does pop on back in to the house. I'd say around 3-ish. Around the time that she would pick up your sister from school.
Okay.
She kind of... Let me see here. Let me grab... Here we go. Percival. I keep wanting to call you Mortimer. God damn.
Make him a character sheet, then slap Percival on it.
Takes too long. Alright. Percival, as you are kind of working around the living room, vacuuming up, you hear the front door open and you see Mrs. Hyperion and... Let me see what the daughter's name is, because Jacques has so many siblings and I'm not good with the names.
Her name is Natalie.
Natalie. And you see Natalie and Lady Hyperion come on in. She's got an armful of groceries. And you see a couple of Mr. Hyperion's henchmen with their Tommy guns slung around their shoulder and their thick glasses kind of like awkwardly helping her bring in groceries.
Okay.
I guess I'll assist with the groceries as well.
Oh, thank you, Percival.
No problem.
And here we go. Okay.
Meanwhile, upstairs, accidentally drops, bumps a shelf and it hits my head. Ah, fuck!
By the way, Percival, one of the guards said that Jack popped on in. Is he still here?
I believe he's in his room.
In his room. Thank you, Percival.
Yep, no problem.
And she kind of hands off the groceries to you and starts to make her way up on upstairs. Jack, as you are chilling out in your room, there's a knock at your door.
I'm in.
You see your mother kind of sheepishly poke her head on in. Jack?
Closes whatever book he's reading, tosses it aside, and gives her his full attention.
Damsels and Dragons.
Nice. Of course he'd be a playboy kind of dude.
It's your father's book.
Ah, fair enough. Sets it down.
She smiles the moment she sees you and kind of hurries on over to give you a hug.
Gives her a big ol' hug.
Where the hell have you been? No phone call, no letter.
It's a long story, Mother.
No trip home to say hello. You had me scared to death.
Oh. A lot of inconveniences and some unfortunate timings did delay my time home.
How long are you staying this time?
Not sure. But hopefully longer than I expect. Though I'll be in and out of the house. Made some friends.
See a smile kind of pop across her face at that. Some well-mannered friends, I hope.
Sweat drops thinking of Ivan and Nevo. Well, let's just say majority of them are.
Never, or not Never, Jack. And she kind of gives you the mom look. You're not hanging out with a bunch of ruffians again, are you?
Well,
If you can... Scratches the back of his neck. Well, if you consider an ex-army guy and some weird dude in a jumpsuit who has a skeleton dog as a companion, being ruffians, sure.
Yes, I would generally call that ruffians, Jack. Except
Good
maybe
friends.
not the army. Maybe not the army.
Good friends.
You just hear Devil off in the distance. Ruffian!
That's the sound that dogs make!
Off in the distance, Nevo just sneezes. Did someone talk about me? Anyway.
It's good to have you back, Jack.
Good to be back. Kinda miss this place after being away so long. Glad I'm back.
You must have had a journey to miss this place. I remember this.
Oh, yeah. I mean, I explained what I experienced to Father, but he doesn't believe half of it. A figure rolls his eyes.
Wild adventures.
More like crazy coincidences, but yes.
So wild adventures.
I suppose.
You can tell me all about it over dinner. We'll see if we can get Percival to make us your favorite.
Oh, that'd be divine. I haven't had much good food in a long time.
What's his
Mostly
favorite?
eating. That is a good question. I don't even know.
Make something
Too
up.
much.
Make something
You
up.
know what? Because I'm a nerd, Kesudon.
What the hell is Kesudon?
It is like a Japanese, like, pork, well seasoned.
Let me see. Kesudon.
I don't know if that's the correct pronunciation. Probably butchering that heavily. And people are gonna yell at me, but I don't care.
Wavy, quickly, roll a d20 to see if you know what the hell that is.
You know what? Or better yet, pork roast. I'll make it simple.
I already rolled for your Japanese dish. 14.
Okay, thank God. You're not ordering takeout and presenting it as your own.
I'll make it easy, pork roast.
Okay.
Because that shit's good. Oh. I'm making myself hungry now, god damn it.
Dude, pork roast right now would kill.
Yes. Yes, it would.
1 a.m.
Am I-
pork roast.
Anywho, moving on.
I imagine Percival saying that in character.
Just out of context in the middle of the
It's
kitchen.
like, dude. Just the butler, like, dude. A 1 a.m. pork roast would fucking kill.
Out of context, just
Out of context.
no questions.
Alright, well now I gotta put it in the chat now. Out of context. Let's see. Quotes.
Anywho. Well, after some well-deserved time with his mother, he'd probably go find his darling little sister.
All right, she joins you for dinner. After her homework is done.
Oh, if she was going to do homework, he would have tried to help her.
Oh, okay, okay.
He's a good brother.
So she doesn't know that you're home at this moment, so you would probably, like, burst into her room.
Just pop into her room, be like, Natalie.
Ah! Oh, look who walked in!
Hey, sis.
Jesus, been gone for 50,000 years.
Yeah, it's certainly been a while.
I was placing bets with sister to see if you got eaten by, like, desert sandworms or something.
Just gives, like, a very, like, neutral, like, glare off in the distance, like, at the mention of his older sisters. Of course he'd be hanging around with them.
I figured you would have been eviscerated by chupacabras or something, but... I mean, you're not. You're not. You're back.
Yes, I am. He'll walk over. What are you up to?
I'm working on homework, but first... And what's your AC?
Oh, God.
Oh no, that's never a good sign.
Why do I have a feeling she's gonna try to punch me in the dick?
She drags a knife across your throat. Character end.
Blood for the
Hold on
blood
a
god.
second. My armor class... Hold on a second. My armor class touch AC is 13.
13. Alright, just shy of that. She goes to punch you in the shoulder, and you catch her little fist.
Just like haphazardly, like, really?
Like, no.
Raises an eyebrow.
No postcard, no nothing. She boops you on the head.
He'll accept that. He'll take 1 family damage. He'll take 1 little sister scolding damage. Sorry, I would have sent something, but I didn't know how many letters we were allowed to send out.
You go missing again, and I'm gonna file down your horns to look like a penis.
Just looks at her like, where the fuck did you hear this from? like gives her like the most concerned look she has ever given her.
I'm in high school now.
Right. It's like Jack just looks down and just like, God, he has like a freaking like a midlife crisis. God, I'm old.
Set the 20-year-old.
Yes, that's the 20-year-old. Just like, right, yeah. He treats her like she's younger than she actually is because he likes to spoil her. Anyway, it's just like, oh, you better watch your language around our mother, dear sister. She wouldn't like to hear you speaking like that.
You're such a square.
Just gives her a look. Oh, come on, you can't be like that. I just give her a playful noogie.
Can and will.
Oh, boo-hoo. Do you want help with your homework or not?
Well, that depends.
Looks down at the paperwork, like just placing my, like, brother putting, like, hands on top of her head and just looking over her. Just, like, paperwork, just, like, casually, like,
It looks like it's on magical theory.
Sweat drops slowly.
Can you tell me the difference between psionics and occult magic?
Would I know anything about that?
Knowledge of Arcana.
Woohoo! Knowledge.
Nat 1. Nat
actually,
1. Nat
actually, I have
1.
proficiency
Nine,
test.
okay.
19.
Okay. You actually would know this. Occult magic was the brand of magic that preceded sphere casting, modern day sphere casting. Psionics is not related to magic in the slightest. It is its own unique system where instead of changing reality through the use of arcane forces, psionics draws energy from the plane of dreams and manifests it within tangible reality.
I explain it exactly as that to her.
Go ahead, use your own words.
God damn. Oh, fuck you. Well, psionics is its own thing in comparison to the other thing, and comes from the plane of dreams where it kind of just manifests from when you pull its power out of the ether. The other thing is what predates modern day spell casting through the spheres of power, if that makes any sense.
Thing is the other thing, and she's writing this down word for word.
Excellent! I am a terrible influence.
Well, one step closer.
That was out of a character, me being saying I'm a terrible influence. Just pats her head. You're doing good.
Yeah. A+ for sure.
Just stifles a laugh. A little bit. Alright. Let's go get some food.
Alright. You head on down. It is... Let me see here. Percival.
Yes.
You... Let me see... What can we have you do? Do you want to do the meatloaf route or that other dish that he suggested? We'll have you roll a craft check.
Oh,
We'll give you some bonus.
I'm rolling for which one I make.
Let's see, which one... Jack, which one did you recommend? That Japanese dish or that meatloaf you suggested? Pork roast.
Pork roast.
Pork roast.
Alright.
Something
You, 1 a.m.
somewhat
pork
easy.
roast would kill right now.
Let's have you roll a d20, and we'll have you add 6 to it. This will represent
Dang,
the nebulous...
I'm on the advanced dice roller now.
The nebulous skill points that you may or may not have.
Your butler
Alright.
skills.
Roll me a butler check. Oh, wow.
Flat 20.
Flat
Roll
20.
for buttle.
I'm a fantastic butler.
You Alfred up.
You are simply one hell of a butler.
Butler, yeah.
You Alfred up the best pork roast a 20 could provide.
Hell yeah.
You just pull it out of the oven. Hell yeah.
Hell yeah.
I porked the hell out of that roast. No, roast.
I porked that roast so hard.
Phrasing.
Oh no.
All right.
Excellent.
And Jack?
That pork's not gonna roast itself.
Jack, you sit down
Damn it.
to
Mm-hmm.
kind of a delightful dinner. Admit your dad ends up having dinner in his study. He's still with some of the people that he's meeting. Your brother comes on down. Your sisters come on down. They relentlessly just jar you while you're there. Your mother hushes them a few times. But God, now that you're back, you are just easy picking for your sisters.
I kind of ignore the older sisters. They're just like pretending they're not they don't exist because I hate them.
And you catch up the best that you can. How much do you reveal to your mother, pray tell?
Oh God, you know, this would be more fun in character than it would be actually just saying it outright.
Okay.
So, to not terrify her completely, because his father is more like, eh. Because God only knows she would probably end up killing him. Anywho, he would regale that due to an accident that occurred with his bike, he was put in jail. He escaped from jail with help from
Jack!
It was an accident. It was an accident.
Just like the last time you went to jail.
Just looks at her.
Last time.
Jack, I thought we were through with this phase.
I swear. Not like you'll ever believe me. Just puts his hand on his hand.
His hand on his hand.
Head on his hand, just like mumbling to himself incoherently. I was like looking off to the side.
You feel her rest her hand on your shoulder. Whatever happened, I'm sure it wasn't that bad. Did anybody get hurt?
Sweat drops. Nobody of my friends, but just kind of leaves it at that.
You hear her let out a soft sigh as she runs her hand through your hair. Alright. We'll leave it at that then. You know, your father can clean up any messes that you might have left behind.
I doubt that there was going to be much left behind regardless. Considering what we saw.
As she holds up her hand. What happens outside the house happened outside the house. You know I don't ask questions.
And I don't want to worry you.
She nods.
Starts eating, like, continues eating his dinner quietly. As if he's asked anything.
Alright. So, over the table, we got 3 minutes left. Would anyone else like to do anything real quick?
I'm gonna step into the room and be like, "How's the pork roast?"
Good. Like, just absent-mindedly eating it, just like, oh.
It's good.
I just like how Percival sounds like he constantly gives zero shits.
I mean,
Two
that's
shits,
just
Percival.
bread in general. I mean, that's just Tyler in general. I mean, I imagine you're kind of just like
How's
the
the-
absolute straight, like, faced guy who just gives zero fucks. You're just getting paid fat loads of cash, and you're like, this is a good job for only doing simple work.
Right.
I mean, besides, like, the stuffy-ass outfit, it's, like, not that bad.
Mm-hmm. I porked the hell out of that roast.
The table goes dead quiet, and everyone kind of looks up at you.
Like,
Percival.
you just saw
Did I say that out loud?
I mean, you didn't specify. So Jack was.
No, that was Percival in character going, "Oh, did I say that out loud?"
Yes, you did, Percival.
Like you just see Jack like was drinking something and then just accidentally like spit takes like like as soon as you said that like.
Wow. Bye.
Bye.
Like looks in Percival's direction like just like.
I hope Percival hasn't been getting into the wine again.
He just looks at he looks at probably either wine or whiskey that he's probably having with his drink. His stuff, like, he would have probably had, like, something light and then something hard. He just downs his whiskey like he doesn't give a shit right now. But Jack probably would have, after meeting up with family, he probably would have wanted to go see his girlfriend.
Okay. We will leave that for next time, then.
Woohoo!
Then...
That works for me.
Boop. And I can get that ready. All right.
Yeah.
Last chance for anybody to get things done out of the way.
Mm-hmm.
And to avoid continuity issues, Wavy Bread, your character is sniped through the head. He'll get better the next time you show up.
I mean, I can show up if you want me to, Storm. I'm available every Saturday.
I mean,
only if
sniped in the head, you're kind of like Accelerator. You have to have the freaking thing to keep you alive.
I have to have a battery plugged into my neck.
we'll talk about that if we ever need a need another person joining it at some point.
Yeah, or if Venom needs to visit his family again, I'm more than glad to be Percival again.
We'll figure something out.
This is I love this. This is fantastic.
I'm
right.
just canonly Percival now. There's nothing else to it. It's canon.
No, you have to have a knife, and that is your only weapon.
It's just like drunk Percival running through the halls, and like your mom is just like that one vine where it's like, "What do you have there?" And he's like, and then I was like, "A knife!" And then he's like, "No."
And then you just see Jack watching this happen as he just pokes his head into the hall. It's just like,
why did we
"Fuck
hire
this
you?"
shit, I'm out.
All right. Comments, questions, concerns, anything anyone needs to take care of?